Pick up another you call in the parking lot to sign. Are you with me? When I stand with the roof gone, I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Looking like you get a new fun. Like you haul and I know you need to go slow, but we could go faster. Maybe the best.
No, it's okay. Hey, y'all. Hold on. Wait. Hey. Okay, first I want to clip something. Hold on. Let me go back. I want to apologize, but it's still F them folks. Hey, Mary, I'm going to tag it in a comment after this. I want to apologize to everybody, to the people that I said things about. And I want to thank you to the 2 content creators that helped me get my page and what to do back. I really do. I don't have it back yet, but I put in my appeal for my main channel. I do want to thank y'all. And it's still, I feel the same way I feel about other folks, but I am a grown woman. You're welcome. I'm a grown woman and I do want to apologize for that. Okay. Now let's get into what we're going to talk about. I was on Instagram last night and I was listening. What is her name? Hold on. She has an Instagram page. She does crime stuff. And what she talked about last night, child, before we get into the story. So y'all remember in 2019, right? Her name is Don D8 on Instagram. Y'all remember in 2019, that girl from Jamaica, she was with her boyfriend, her husband, and he unalived her in Texas. Did y'all know Beachy, the man that unalived the girl Tanya in Jamaica, is his daddy? We gotta talk about that tomorrow. I say, what? His daddy? His daddy. Girl, we gotta talk about it. But anywho, Don D had talked about Nilexia Alexander. If you guys remember in 2022, Nilexia went missing. She went missing, right? And she got deep into the story. So from what we understand, Nilexia, who, let me see if I can show y'all a picture. Hold on. Who was 14 at the time. Hearing her story remind me of Naziah Harris. And the reason why it did, because Nilexia was also groomed, but she had a foster mother who was protective of her, right? This is the young girl that was found. Let me put the pictures. This was the young girl that was found in Tampa, Florida, where I'm originally from. And she was 14. She was messy with the man named Ronnie. We gonna get into that. Ronnie Walker unalived Nilexia Alexander. We're also going to get into his court case and read some documents about what happened, because from what we're hearing, he's trying to do an appeal, and we don't know why. He could stay exactly where he at, okay? But from what we understand, he was convicted last year of unaliving Nilexia. Now, Nilexia started becoming a little problem at home and running away when she was realized she was her foster mother was not her mother. Now, Nilexia looked for her mom. They found her mom, the foster mother, and they decided to meet up with the foster mother. But the foster mother never showed. After that, Nilexia has gotten into a little trouble because of that, because she didn't feel like she was wanted. She didn't feel like nobody loved her, or her mother don't love her. Like, she never understood that. So Nilexia would talk to grown men just to do it. And she met up with Mr. Ronald Walker. Now, Ronald Walker, hey Melody, Ronald Walker had a girlfriend. And from what we understand, Ronald caught an STD and claimed it was from this little baby. Now, remind you, he has a woman at home. we're going to get into, yes, y'all heard me. Yes. Ronald got with her and a friend of his. Now, he used his friend phone, from what we understand, to actually, hold on, let me go to the right one. Hold on, y'all. This the, which one is it? So he used his friend phone. Now, when he got caught, he said that, oh, my friend was with her. That's not the case. So he met up with Nilexia. I'm gonna tell you what he did. He met up with Nilexia. Um, she left with him, and she was in the car in the front seat. He took her for a ride with his friend. He had pewed and it hit her in the arm. After it hit her in the arm, he made her got out the car and walked out to a field, and he did 4 pews. One hit her in the back and in the head, and he left her there to die alone. As he did that, he left, and he also took himself to Tampa General Hospital. Tampa General Hospital is across the bridge close to like St. Petersburg, Clearwater area. Okay, it's a lot of water over there. He drove, which was 10 to 15 minutes away from Tampa General Hospital, and went to the hospital. Okay. Now they found all this stuff and find out that Ronald was texting his friend off his friend phone. Ronald's friend said, "Listen, I'm guilty as a conspiracy, accomplice to murder, unaliving." But Ronald said, "I ain't do that. I ain't do what, little girl, man, please, man, that was my friend. That wasn't me." When they went and got all they got, they realized it was him. And we're going to play some of that today. So the man is convicted of killing 14-year-old Nilexia Alexander, was sentenced to life in prison on Friday. This happened last year in June. After his sentence was read, Ronnie Walker told the Alexander family he didn't do it. They knew it. In response, Alexander's mother called him a natural born unaliver. Walker will spend the rest of his life in a Florida state prison. Oof. Just 2 days after finding Ronnie Walker guilty of premeditated first degree in unaliving a 14-year-old Nilexia Alexander, the same jury voted against sentencing him to the unaliving penalty. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen, because from what DeSantis has signed after this trial is he might get the unaliving penalty. DeSantis say he don't care if you are a suspect in child, anything to do with child SA, you have the death penalty, not life, death. And that's what he signed as of, I think it was December or January this year, one of the two. But he just not, and it passed. The senators in the state, the people in Florida agreed that it shall be, that it will be an unaliving penalty. As he did on Tuesday, when the first verdict against him was read, Walker showed no emotion when the court announced he would be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, he turned to Alexander's family and said he didn't kill her and that they know it. In her response, the family bailed back that he was a natural born killer. He had been killing for a long time, but he had just been caught this time. Now, if you are from Tampa, and if somebody say and heard that you unalive somebody, but you got away with it, yeah, you are ready to talk. And looking at this man, he did it. Several days ago, her family said they wished for him to get the unaliving penalty. They retracted that Walker had killed another woman, but his life sentence was overturned on appeal. Yes, it was. And we're going to get into the appeal that he just filed not too long ago, as he about him unaliving Nilexia. The defense put Ronnie Walker's mother on the stand to make the case that too much went wrong in his life for him to get the unaliving penalty. His mother said she lost custody of him when he was 10 years old, and that he lived in a drug-infested neighborhood and he suffered injuries to his head that impacted his behavior. They retracted that in the case, and the jury must be anonymous if they are recommended to unaliving. If you simply see even a small spark of humanity in Mr. Walker, even if no one else see it, you can give it weight of life. says Carolyn Schumacher, the defense attorney, and that is what we're asking on behalf of Ronnie Walker, myself, to sentence him with life without possibility of parole. The prosecution say Walker unalived Alexander in premeditated fashion, given he picked her up at 3 in the morning, and their shots were fired in an isolated area of the city within 15 minutes. They also say he took numerous steps to get away with it, like throwing the pew in the river, cleaning his car for DNA, and threatening to unalive anybody that told. And on Thursday, they showcased testimony from Alexander's mother, who described that Walker took from her in a 14-year-old Alexandra dream of being a fashion designer and a lawyer. The defense said that the other person in the car, Robert, pulled the trigger. Walker reserves a sentence, and the Robert Creed pulled the trigger. Walker will serve his sentence in Florida State prison system. We're finna go over that. I read it last night as I was looking up, and if y'all want me to do a domestic violence thing, I will, but I was looking up what happened to my friend. I had never read it, and I read it last night after this, but we're going to talk about it because whew, baby, this man, we're going to go to the summary. They gave full detail of what he did. And I personally don't believe that he should be out. Is it a deposition? No, that's not the one. Damn, I'm sorry. He had controlled substance felony charges. This nigga just, is this the one? No. He been in jail quite some time. I mean, a couple of civil, but he also had a real charge. He had a misdemeanor charge. Where's the one with 2022? I just looked at it last night. Here it is. Is it this one? Hold on, y'all, because he got a lot of charges. Yeah, that's not it. God damn. Home administration. He has a lot of charges, y'all. Let me see. Here it is. He had some of those charges as well. Yeah, but hold on. No, that ain't it. Because he don't got a fucking bond. Hold on, y'all. I have to find it. I know it's in here. I had seen it yesterday. But he has a lot of charges. He has plenty of them. And I looked at it yesterday. Here we go. Let me go to 2025. He's had charges, drug charges. He has had if he 1959, then how old was the, wait a damn minute. Hold on. That nigga about 60. Wait a minute. Hold on. You telling me you 60 some years old? This got to be it. You telling me you 60 some years old and you with this 14-year-old? He is a menace. He is. Yeah, I was married. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Cause I sent it to myself and I read it last night. I should have copied the link. And he trying to do an appeal. The appeal is that he didn't do it, but you're a repeat offender of a felon. Let me see if I can look at these documents myself. Hold on. Man, let me see if I can read it, y'all. Give me a minute. Child, girl, oh Jesus. I say that the documents. I say that the what you call it. Let me see if I can pull it out. I'ma send it to you in a minute. Let me go to my files. Once I get done with this one, I'm gonna put it in the comments. I got you. Cause I want y'all to see this. This man actually sat here. This man is sitting here. This man is sitting here. Oh, I took it down. I have to apologize, but trust me, we'll talk about it in a minute. Files. No, I need my documents. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. But he trying to get one where he is not let me go here. Where he's basically saying he didn't do anything. But you can't say you didn't do anything because of the simple fact was that's a little girl. That's not no grown woman. And for him to say that is crazy. Let me pull it up on here. Like the appeal is ridiculous. Okay. Is it? Yes. Okay. Let me share this to myself. And we finna read it. Matter of fact, let me upload it onto StreamYard. I'm gonna read it to y'all because it's sad. This girl was 14. And we finna get into it. We even talk about him going to the hospital. He drove himself to the hospital. He drove himself to the hospital, which is crazy work. Here we go. Oh, I want to open it. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna just read it to y'all. Cause I don't know if it'll let me screen share. Let me see. Gotta be in my thing. So, whew, Lord have mercy. Hey, so this was the state of Florida versus Ronnie Tramiel Walker. And it comes of now. Okay. Florida by and through the undesigned attorney pursuant to the Florida statute of 907.004. He was supposed to get the unaliving penalty. But because of the fact was that he let me see if I can airdrop. That he basically they asked against it. But he was supposed to get the death penalty. And I'm just going to be honest. In the state of Florida, you really was for what he did to her. Now, as you see, it shows the statute code. It shows the defendant passing patterns of behavior, meaning he was in trouble before. Now we get into the meat and the potatoes of what happened May 26, 2020, May 6, 2022. It was his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend. It was his girlfriend. Yes. Yes. He dated her. At approximately at 3:58 a.m., Tampa Police Department responded to a 911 call who reported a possible puin victim. The caller reported that a female lay unresponsive in a vacant area near the intersection of West Nebraska and North Highland Avenue, which is located within the city limit of Tampa, Hillsborough County. Yeah. Tampa police officers arrived in the area and met with a 911 phone call caller who provided the officers with a statement. Now, I'm gonna want y'all to see this. Hold on, let me take a screenshot of this. I want y'all to actually look at what we're reading. This man, that lady ain't lie. He's a damn menace. He is a menace. Hold on, y'all. Give me one moment. Okay, so her mother gave her up. Her foster mother would like she was trying to do her best with her. And she was raising her, but when she realized her mother act like she didn't want her, her foster mother did anything she could for this little girl, to do anything for her. Like she worked 2 jobs. She worked 2 jobs for this baby. Hold on, y'all. 2 jobs. Let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. She worked 2 jobs, like put her in the stuff. But when her mother didn't come around, like she said, that's what bothered her. Okay, here we go. Tampa police officers arrived in the area and met with the 911 caller to provide the officers with a statement. The caller stated that he was outside when he heard the pewing fire. The caller then went to check the area and they heard gunfire. It was shortly thereafter, near where the gunfire originated, that he located the female. The 911 caller, not having a cell phone, went to contact the police. Yet what she was lacking, she was. During the investigation, 10 police officers observed a deceased female approximately 5 feet from the roadway within 100 block of West Florbaska Avenue. Near her body, police officers observed 4 fired cartridges cases along with a fired projectile. Pursuant to an examination of the descendant's body, it appeared as if the female sustained gunshot wounds, injuries to her head. In addition to fire casings and projectile, law enforcement located near the descendant a mobile phone device charger, but no mobile phone device. During a neighborhood canvass, Tampa police Lanton investigators interviewed a resident who witnessed events potentially related to the female's unaliving. The resident stated that they heard gunfire. When he looked into the direction of the gunfire, he saw a dark-colored newer sedan stopped at the 100 block of West Florbaska Avenue with its headlights off. The resident stated that they heard a couple of more rounds of gunfire from the area of the vehicle before it drove away. Tampa police investigators reviewed the ShotSpotter data of the area. The data indicated that the ShotSpotter system detected 3 potential rounds of gunfire in the area near the descendant's body in approximately 308. Yes, but he did. I don't know how he got it off the street. Hold on. So they said it was 5 rounds. And you can see here, is this in order like I asked it to be? Okay. No, it's not. Hold on. Okay, we're just gonna read forward. And I put all these to be in order. Okay, here we go. I know where we at. Investigators recovered residential video surveillance footage from the area. One of the recovered pieces of footage captured audio from which investigators heard to believe 5 rounds. Recovered. Now, first of all, we're going to pause. I stayed out there. Florbaska is going towards Nebraska Avenue. If you are from Florida, you know Nebraska Avenue is where, and this is going toward, like, going the other way toward, like, from Sulphur Springs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But Nebraska is Streetwalker City. That's where they run up and down Nebraska to make their money. Now, Florbaska is a crossing to Nebraska. It's 2 of them. That's going towards like Davis. Is it Davis Island Beach? I think so. It's going towards that way, like you finna hit on that interstate. It's going towards like Armenia Avenue and all of that, because that's where you go towards to go ahead and take to go to Tampa General. Okay, that's just where they go at. From which investigators heard so recorded video surveillance also captured a dark color sedan in 100 block of West Florbaska Avenue, as described by the neighborhood resident in around the time of ShotSpotters, which is a camera they have to where they look at everything. Gunfire detection. As observing the footage, the vehicle goes to the dead end, turns around, and that's the area where the body is found for 30 seconds, and then the driver drives away while the headlights are turned off. So it's all on camera. The Hillsborough County Medical Examiner officer took custody of the descendant pending on autopsy, pursuant to where the descendant cause of unalive was determined by a gunshot wound and with the perfection skull and brain in a matter of death or homicide. At the medical's office, the descendant was identified. Tampa police now we on pause. So the mama was looking for her. I'll never forget this story. The mama was looking for this girl, for like 2 or 3 days. and it came across that her body was at the morgue. I think it was like 24 hours or some kind of way like that, but her body was at the morgue. I'll never forget because I had people who I knew was posting her and sending prayers because we were all hoping that that girl was found. And the people I knew, and I sent my prayers to her mama, like I'll never forget her foster mom, and her foster mom still doing the work, the ground foot work. I'll never forget, like we were all praying that girl was found. She got a call that she was found. She had to go the next morning, that morning, to verify this baby body. When I say everybody was praying, like, please let it be found, please let it be okay. And that's when we realized that he unalived her. And then more came out. Tampa police investigators interviewed the victim's family and learned that the victim had in her possession a mobile phone. When the victim kept hitting from her mother, however, no one knew the phone number. Investigators learned from the family that the victim recently referenced an incident where she had to phone 911. An inquiry regarding the 911 revealed on April 23rd, 2022, the victim phoned the Tampa Police Department. Okay, she called the system of 911. During the call, the victim alleged that a group of people were trying to start a fight with her. In response to the call, Tampa police officers came upon the victim and returned her home. Available law enforcement resources are used to determine. So how they knew what her number was and about her phone was they looked at her call log. Walker's Ford Fusion was parked at the business. So what they did was, let me tell you what they did. Let me see if it's in here. Yeah, here it is. So before we read it, he had a car. Okay, here we go. This part. He had a car. And his car payments was through somebody else. No, it was through him. I'm sorry. It was through him, but he worked there. Now, what he did was after he got the car, I want to get my facts straight. I apologize. After he got his car and he registered the car to his old address, he moved from that address. So they were trying to find him. And we're going to get into that. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm getting this in order. Okay. I gotta get this right in order. It's uploaded out of order. Investigators recovered video from the area. Okay, so we read that. And it said that during the call, a group of people, it was a T-Mobile phone that she used. Now, let me tell you how they found him. So that goes into that with Boulevard. What Ford Fusion was no. Yes, it is. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so Walker's Ford Fusion was parked at the business, and Walker provided investigators sworn statement. Walker stated that between the hours of 2200 on May 5th, 2022, and 10:30 hours on May 6th, the vehicle had been located to the known as Q Walker consented to search of his vehicle, as well as searches of his mobile phone device. So they found his phone. Now, what they did was when they went to go look for him, y'all, let me give you a background. So when they went to the car dealership that he got the car from, child, guess who they find at with his car at the car dealership as an employee? The man worked at the car dealership as an employee. That's how they searched his car. The man worked at the car dealership as an employee. He worked there. Okay? He worked there. So, When they searched, however, Walker stated to the investigators that he had acquired a new phone and number and since the date of the homicide. Walker cited an argument with his girlfriend that prompted him to break the phone and discard it into a body of water. Walker provided investigators with the phone number, and as the number had prior to his current one, hold on, let me take that off because it got a numbers in it. I don't know who number that is. And detective spoke to Ronnie Walker's girlfriend, Erica Sweet, and who it hold on, how do I mark that out? No, it won't let me do it. So basically, let me read it off my phone. I don't want to dox so bad. I don't want nobody to think I'm doxing him. Hold on. Okay. Erica Sweet. Hold on. That is the girlfriend, Erica Sweet. Why did it upload like that? Hold on, y'all. I don't like this. Give me a minute. Because this got to come out right. And I'm sorry I didn't do this last night, but I feel like it's all over the place and it has to be right regardless. So I'm going to read it from my phone. So investigators recovered the video. Okay, let's go to the video surveillance. We read that, right? And so we get into her data indicated that the victim phone was in the area of the death and the time of her death when they went through her phone records. The records indicate that the descendant's phone remained active for approximately 24 hours. I'm going to read it from my phone. 24 hours after her death. Further canvas of the neighborhood showed a dark colored sedan traveling eastbound on North Temple Street from Adele Street, and the vehicles observed cutting through northbound through an alley located to the west of North Florida Avenue. And when the vehicles gets to Plymouth Street, the sedan travels westbound. Back through the neighborhood, the vehicle continues in a westbound direction, being captured on the video at 3:11 hours at West Adele Street, reviewing the geolocation data of the victim's phone. It followed the same general path of travel of the dark sedan after the unaliving. It appears the victim's cell phone remained inside the dark colored sedan after he unalived her. Further inquiry of the geolocation data indicated that the victim's phone appeared to move through the downtown Tampa and right to Tampa General Hospital. Okay, I want to show y'all what Tampa General Hospital looked like. So if y'all ain't from there, y'all can get a clear event that he was sitting his tail there, taking himself to Tampa General. You got to go across a goddamn bridge of water. I don't understand why they is near water. Let me show you. It's a big old hospital now. It's nice. It's nice and all, you know, and it's sit on water. I promise you it do. It sits on a big old thing of water. That's why every time they have a hurricane, they got generators. There you go right there. You see how he got to ride across? So this is down the other way. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me take this beautiful baby picture down real quick. That is Tampa General, okay? So that's where he drove at, right? At 12 hours of her unaliving. City of Tampa surveillance cameras, which were located down in the Pacific area of the victim's phone, was reviewed. A vehicle, which appeared to be the same make, model, and car and color as the one left homicide scene, was identified. Available video surveillance footages from TGH. This hospital got cameras. They know he was there. As consistent with the movement of the victim's phone. From the TGH surveillance footage, it determined that the vehicle, a black Ford Fusion, had attached a Florida license plate. Oh, really? A Florida license plate. Oh. Oh, he in jail now. And it had a license plate. It determined that the vehicle had attached a Florida license plate, which it was to him. And they said when he was born, so he was born in 78. Hold on. Let me do a calculation. If she was 14, he was born in 78. How the fuck old was he? That nigga 44 years old was 44 fucking with a 7. He need to stay in jail. Parole, say no. Temple Police in Latin investigators met with Walker at his place of employment. He worked at Giant Motor Cars, which was located on East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. Walker was part. Okay, now this is where we get into it. Where he said he changed the number and stuff to his girlfriend Erica, who advised he indeed had access to her phone. Furthermore, when showing a photograph of the victim, Walker advised he did not know who she was. So they showed her a picture of her, saying, "Hey, do you know her?" He talking about, nah, he don't know this girl. So how her phone got in your car? Okay. How is that? On the same date, Walker's Ford was impound pending a search warrant. Upon receiving a court authorized search warrant for the vehicle, a search warrant was conducted on the interior. Location during the search was a substance that appeared to be blood. This substance was located on the interior door jamb at the rear driver's side door. A test of this substance was positive for blood. Further chemical processing using Blue Star indicated blood on the several places in the vehicle. Rear passenger side door, front door switches, and front passenger side door. Further investigation into the victim's phone geolocation revealed a possible stop after the homicide of the North Armenia Avenue, West Hillsborough Avenue around 3:28 in the morning. On May 6, 2022, 20 minutes after the murder. 17 minutes after the dark sedan is last captured on video. Detectives went to Thornton gas station location and located a surveillance of Walker's black Ford Fusion pulling and going into gas pump 19. A black male driver resembling Ronnie exits the vehicle and goes into the store to pay for gas. He then pumps the gas into the Fusion, while pumps a second unknown black man exit the passenger seat momentarily, then enters back into the vehicle. Video from the interior of the gas station has shown to several individuals familiar with Ronnie, and they have identified him as a black male driving the Ford entering the store. Video was obtained based on the results of obtaining the victim's location records. And that showed her in the area of Belmont Heights, which is a block from Ronnie. It was living at the time. Belmont Heights, hey Terry, is an area on Hillsborough, near Hillsborough Avenue. It's like an apartment complex. And it's like 5-10 minutes from downtown Tampa. Thank you, Terry. And that's where, that's where, like I told y'all, they take you to Ybor, they take you to god dang, what is it? I don't forget the name of that city, but yeah, it's out there. So he wasn't far from her either. Interesting. So ain't no telling if he was preying on this young girl, because she stayed down from him. Video ascertained the area around, and the victim can be clearly seen walking in the area around 3 in the morning. Dressed as she was found when the body was recovered. Further video from the area shows her getting into the vehicle that was seen just moments later at the homicide scene that was later identified as the vehicle of Ronnie Walker. On May 16, 2022, during an interview with his girlfriend, Miss Sweets, Sweets stated that on May 5th, 2022, she went to bed between 8 and 9 p.m. She was unsure what Ronnie did after she went to bed. She stated when she woke up at 6 a.m. on May 6, 2022, he was in bed with her. Call detail records were obtained from Erica's phone and her number from T-Mobile, and it shows that at 3:34 26 minutes after, and then a call at 3:35. He did a call at 3:30, 35:54. He called again at 3:36. He called again at 3:37. So he was making his alibi. He wanted to make these phone calls to his girlfriend, making these alibis to say, "Hey, I was calling and arguing with her all night." But when we see the call, she didn't answer. The calls, hey, Clock noted, the calls occurred when Sweets advised that she was asleep. Pursuant to a search warrant delivered to T-Mobile pertaining to stored geolocation data that was associated with her number, the requested data was received, and the geolocation was reviewed and determined that the device associated followed the path of the victim's phone before. So they shared location during and after the victim's unaliving, including from the time she was picked up in Belmont Heights. On June 15, 2022, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement biology unit returned results related to the swab taken from Walker's Ford Fusion's rare driver sided door. I need something to drink. The results confirmed that the swab substance was in fact blood. Additionally, there was a substance in the presence of the DNA associated with the mixture of three sources. The sources were identified by the victim in this case, Ronnie, and an unidentified person. Ronnie has an extensive criminal history during a prior homicide, which the one that he got off on appeal. The undersigned assistant state attorney certifies that he has received testimony under the oath supporting the grounds of the essential facts alleged in the motion. Wherefore, based on the foregoing, the state respectfully prays this honorable court to order partial detention. I hereby are true, and so they did the detention and they sent it off, and that is the affidavit of what he did. The fact that he sat there, and you can imagine what this girl was going through. She probably was thinking in her head she wanted to go home. Like, what did she do wrong? What happened? And all of this was over him stepping out, catching an STD. Yeah, it is so sad. The story was that he blamed her for catching something. And he unalived this baby. Not knowing if he gave it to her, not knowing anything. But he blamed her. He blamed this girl who is only 14. So you'll never know what was going through her mind. Never know. You don't, like, I know she was scared. I know she didn't know what he was going to do to her. That's probably what it was. And she just, like, her last moments, like, oh my God, I should have stayed home. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's 3 a.m. Like, what is going to happen to me? What is he going to do to me? This is a child. He did have 2 of them. Hold on. He had one in 2022. I think it's the one they were talking about. Yeah. Obstructing an officer, battery. Yeah, that's another one. He also had it in 2024. 2004, I'm sorry. 2004. Obstructing an officer with violence. This is heartbreaking. Am I going on the wrong thing? They don't change their stuff so much. I'm trying to find a newer one. I don't want that. I don't know why I can't see it on here for the criminal, because they done changed so much on this website. And usually you could pick it up. But yeah, that's what he did. Like, you can just imagine, like, she don't know. She's sitting in this car with this man. Yeah, thinking about her family, like, this is sad. Like, is he gonna do something to me? Is he gonna, like, he already done pewed in the arm, so it ain't nothing else he probably didn't know what to do. I'm trying to find it because he is trying to do an appeal. I don't know why I cannot find it. But it was in detail. I spelled it wrong. That's why. Here we go. Yeah, that's him. Okay, here we go. So, let me stop. Let me remove that down for a minute. This man is trying to do an appeal. I saw it today. And here it is. Appeal status. He did an appeal on January 29th, 2026. Now, this is his appeal. And he did it, that was the court order date was January, and in the substantial some supplement record filed that he did it on November 20, 2025. He's like, listen, I need to do an appeal, basically trying to say he didn't do this, right? So they saying, okay, motion to correct the record in February. Basically, he doesn't have an appeal date, but he does have an appeal started for, like, a true, they gave him a copy of the order and everything. So he didn't appeal, I guess. He wanted to lower tribunal clerk respond to the motion, and he wanted to correct the supplement record, which response may be taken in the form of a corrected supplement record, meaning there were some things that wasn't right in that happened. He did a motion to correct some things what he wanted to correct, and they supposed to go back, I guess, to see what it is. So he said that some of the stuff wasn't right. It wasn't right. Yeah. He had to go back in front of the judge for a hearing, December 16th, which he was sentenced. They canceled that hearing and they put it back on again, which is crazy as hell. They waived some stuff for him. I guess that was the death penalty. Let me see. And then they showed his. So there's a lot of stuff in here. They also put his notice of hearing. I know oh God. Did they ship him out? No, they didn't ship him out yet. I think they did already. So there was some stuff entered in error that he took towards the court. So he been ever since then. He got to court last year. He around here saying this ain't right, that ain't right, this ain't right, that ain't right. So he basically sending stuff into the court, child. That's all he been doing. He did do an appeal. Now he can't go get parole, but he's doing an appeal, I guess, to try to get parole. No, you need to sit your ass in there. He does. First of all, you're 44 years old at the time. You're messing with a young girl who was starting her life. A young girl. And you took your friend on a ride, and then they found the phone in your car with you, and you come and tell everybody, I ain't do that. Yeah, the hell you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's right there. A grown man. A grown man with a 14-year-old. What? And you on the first, and then to unalive her over something you should never been sitting here touching on in the first place. Oh, I'm mad because she's 14. Who told you to put anything in her? Mm-mm-mm. It's sad. Um, I send my prayers to her family. Hold on. But yeah, that's all I have. Um, if y'all want me to share like a personal DV story, I will. I don't mind. I'm just not gonna go into full details. I have to get permission first because I know their family probably, well, my friend family probably won't mind, but it's to help anybody. To be and it's no telling what else he did to this young girl who was 14 years old. It's no telling. It's no telling how he manipulated her, threatened her, the things that he did. We don't know how long it don't say how long that he was having relations with her or how long he was dating her. It couldn't have been that long. But for you to blame a child, excuse me, for something you caught for messing around on your girlfriend, it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And for him to say he didn't do it and he don't deserve, no, you need to stay in there. You need to stay in there. You need to stay in there. You don't need to get out. You don't need to be released. You don't need nobody to talk to you. You need to stay your ass in there for the rest of your life. For the rest of his life, he deserved that. And I hope every man in there is on his ass. Because at some point, for you to sit here and touch on this girl that is only 14 and unalive her for your own crap, it's crazy work to me. It's crazy work to me. Let me see if I can find out what you call it search of it. Oh, he in Alapache. Well, have fun. And I hope he do sin in life. I hope that he stay there, do whatever they got to do. This is him. This is him now. And you telling me, boy, please. Exactly. Rest in peace to this baby, Nilexia Alexander. I am gonna try to do a crime on my friend. I know I talk about everybody else's crime story personal, but I think I'm gonna ask if it's okay if I do one on my best friend. She's been gone for like what 12 years. So, and it's a DV story. I want to thank you guys for watching. I do want to send my prayers to this young lady and her family and anyone that know her. Thank you for watching. I'll be back later. I'm gonna see if I can do that tomorrow. And I appreciate y'all. Help me get to 1K over here. I did my appeal video. I will talk about that later in the next live. Bye, y'all.